Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Karl Sweeney today, who is a lecturer in the field of medicine in NUIG, and he's also a surgeon with Breast Check in Galway. Okay, so why did you decide to get involved with the National Park City project?
Well, I know Brendan Smith is one of the key organisers for this. Personally, I worked with him for a long time volunteering in other projects. So as soon as he suggested that I participate, I jumped at the opportunity. I think this is a very worthwhile project. I think it's something that's very important that we get involved in at a local level. I enjoy participating in these kind of ventures.
Thank you. Why is the National Park City important for the people of Galway?
I think we've all seen that there's been a creep of sort of urbanization of our environments. Galway was a very small town up until quite recently, and there was easy access to lots of green areas and natural habitats, and that's slowly being eroded. And I think it's something that's happening all throughout the Western world. And there's no reason why you can't have urbanization and extensions of urban areas married with green areas, but it does take conscious effort. And I don't think there's been sufficient voice at a sort of council level. And this gives us the opportunity to have that voice.
Thank you. In 10 years, how do you envision the National Park City's contribution to the development of Galway City?
Oh, well, I mean, in an ideal world, I would see that something like the Parks Initiative should have an equal voice at any decisions around the way that we're developing the land, as to a lot of the other pressures, social pressures and business pressures, that it should all be taken equal importance. So hopefully with 10 years, with that amount of time to establish ourselves within the psyche of those organizations who are doing developments, we'll be able to achieve that.
Okay, thank you. So what is your role in the project? What do you hope your area of expertise will bring to the project?
So, I mean, apart from volunteerism, I haven't had a particularly active role in environmental issues. And that's why I'm really excited to have been invited to be part of this, because it is something that's very important. I've been living in Galway now for over 14 years. Interestingly, for the first 12 of those years, I rented, so I didn't actually own any property. I'm originally from Dublin. And so I suppose that lack of ownership of land meant that maybe I wasn't as invested as perhaps I could have been. I've now bought a house, and now I feel really like I own part of the land. And it's definitely got me interested in what's going on in the environs. Certainly in my own local area, there's been a lot of green areas have been removed, making ways for other things. But I think that's something that should be gently pushed back against, and that's where I'm interested in. And I'm part of a group of similarly motivated individuals who want to make sure that the sort of the roads and paths within Galway are going to maintain their green pathways, that they'll have a relationship with blue pathways, and that those pathways will be taken into consideration with any developments, such as the establishment of cycleways and parking in the roads.
Okay, thank you. What do you think the project will bring to the NUI Galway campus life?
So I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a two-way interaction. I think whenever I'm on the NUIG campus, I'm campus that there's lots of greenery, that developments on the campus have obviously been sensitive to the environmental impact to make sure that there are plenty of green areas there. So I think that NUIG, certainly in their development, have got it right. And I'm hoping that this initiative, that the people from NUIG will actually be able to bring some of that out into the city. In the same way that the organization of this, this initiative will be able to interact with NUIG and maybe promote even more environmentally aware developments there. So I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's going to have a big impact.
Thank you. All right. As a surgeon and a lecturer in the School of Medicine, do you think it is important for projects such as this are developed?
Oh yeah. Like I've been part of the management structure in the University Hospital in Galway in various guises over the last 12 to 13 years. And unfortunately, the environmental impact of developments in the hospital have really taken a sort of a backstage or to any of the decisions that are being made. And I mean, it's understandable, like when you're in the healthcare system, the patient is front and center. But I think we've come to a realization that the impact of healthcare on the environment is massive. It is much larger, I think, than the general population realize. And that simple choices or simple, influences and nudges in the right way could have a huge impact on the way that we interact, the healthcare system interacts with the environment. And I'd love to see this initiative kind of the hospital system would embrace this initiative and bring some greenery in. I mean, you look, they've got Merlin Park, which is like, it's beautiful grassland. And I would hate to see that it was impacted negatively in developments without the opportunity for people like us to be able to interact with them and make sure that they do it in an environmentally sensitive way, any developments.
Thank you. That was brilliantly said. And how do you think the healthcare system in Galway can be a significant contributor to the National Park City Initiative?
Yeah, so I think given the footprint that the hospital and the various health centres have within Galway, they could have a huge impact, not only from the point of view of the size of the properties, but also on the volume of people that are going in to see them, and being able to raise awareness for the sort of developing the green areas within the city, just purely by having posters, by having a message that shows the support of the hospital system for this initiative on the people who are attending the hospital would have a massive impact, a positive impact for the organization.
Thank you. And finally, how do you think we can get volunteering from schools, colleges, workplaces, etc. on local green initiatives to become the norm as part of the National Park City?
Well, obviously at the moment, in the current environment, it's almost impossible to do anything outside. And even, the school kids and teachers and that have got their own pressures at the moment to try and develop an initiative will be extremely challenging at the moment. But again, in the same way as the healthcare, the hospitals and have the opportunity to educate the patients coming in, the school system definitely has the opportunity to educate students on the importance of greenways and incorporating environmental issues into the decisions that they make. I have to say, I'm very encouraged. I have 3 children who are at school, and I'm very encouraged by how aware they are of the impact that they're having on their environment. And I'm constantly being pulled up by them for, maybe breaking the rules. And that's a real education for me. So I think you'd be pushing an open door trying to get school kids to be involved in this kind of a project. I think that they would definitely embrace it, particularly if it means that they don't have to stay at home in front of a computer screen.
Thank you. So it's been brilliant having you on today to be interviewed. You've been brilliant. Thank you so much for giving your perspective from the healthcare side and what you're doing as part of this National Park City project. It's been brilliant having you. Thank you so much.